Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So, what can we say? I think let's just kick off on the weekly because it's pretty important. You can see we had a range bar week, and now we've had a big pin bar week, which is actually a rejection off this previous structure. See that? So there's our previous bit of structure, and we've pretty much rejected that. So that's 14,879. So when you're trading a pin bar off structure like that, you enter on the break of the bottom. So normally a break and retest of the bottom, and that's the area you need to pay attention to. So if we translate that onto the 8 hour, here is the week move. So what we're looking for is a level roughly around there. Okay, and you can see if you look to the left, it kind of lines up quite nicely. So we do have a bit of a what was looking like a flat top triangle, so it could still be a range. Just pay attention to 14,316. So we could sort of just mosey on back up to this area, or alternatively we could reject this. So a couple of things in the bull's favor is firstly the moving averages have crossed over. One thing in favor of the bears is we are below the 155. We are coming into what is looking like a bit of a squeeze, and then we also have the oscillators, which are starting to look like they're going to cross over, which is boding well for the bulls. So if we start drilling down now, the 3 hour for 2 weeks now, not really being much going on. You can see pretty much in amongst the moving averages. We're back in amongst the moving averages. However, have a look at our oscillators, what's happening here. So I'm really of the opinion right now that if we do start getting below the lows of last week, and it is going to be a tough call, because if you look to the left, you can see we've had pretty much almost 2.5 weeks at this level, and if I go further back, you can see there will be a lot of interaction at that level as well. So pretty simple scenario. So you can see Friday's 1 hour really rejecting the 155 here. Moving averages have crossed over. This is all indicating we need to be paying attention to a break to the downside. So let's just get to the 15-minute, because that is what's going to give us a little bit of clarity. So at the moment, at first glance, we look at the 15-minute like this, and I'm really not interested in selling or buying, because we are pretty much going sideways. We do have a bit of a moving average crossover here that's forming. We are kind of on the 155. I'm going to need to see 14,510 give way and us to find support there before even looking at something to the upside. Probably easier just to stick on the hour, just to eliminate the noise. While we're in this area, I'm not interested in trading. So the one that I am interested in trading is if we get some form of rejection off this top. So 14,500. If we reject 14,500, then I'm looking for an opportunity to move the downside. There is another scenario here. So that's the first one. So that was the first trend line. Not exact. Let's just get it exact. There we go. So you can see there's the first fractals. That's the first trend line, and you can see how we broke through, tried to test it there, broke back below it, back up, 1 bar retest of that as well. So that's the first scenario. Then the second scenario is that one there. And if you actually draw sort of 2 more levels here, so I'm just picking up all these tails here, you can see a lot of area for rejection, and the fact that we accelerated through that area, you see there's lots of tails here. So this bar here, which was on Thursday, just flew through there without even stopping. It broke all those areas of support all the way down to the bottom, found support lower down, come back, and now first one we are battling with. So the question in my mind at the moment is, we are busy with a 155 retest here. Now, it is going to be very interesting, but for me, I want to see at the open what's going to happen. There is a bit of a gap to the downside here as well. So I'm looking to short this, to be honest. I'm looking to see what happens. either at 14,535 or alternatively 14,510. There probably is another level stuck in amongst where we are at the moment, which is why we are sort of bouncing around there. But that's kind of the bigger view that I've got. So wait for the open. If we do break this, it is a potential indication that the trend has reversed. And the trend we're talking about is pretty much a 2-day uptrend here. Well, I suppose we could say a bit longer, but it's just been a messy trend from 8th of March. So the trend of last month is really at risk at the moment. Okay, so yeah, it is range bound, so you want to wait for a decent break. So, but I'm also just looking at this area to the upside here. There will be lots of selling off here on Friday. So the question is, what's going to stop? What's going to change that view at the moment? So that's kind of my view. If we do start getting up above 14,561, then all bets are off, and then I'm looking for longs again. But at the moment, I'm looking for a rejection off this area for at least a retest of this big level here at 14,316, because a break of that and retest of that gives us a much bigger and more aggressive short. Okay, that is the bottom of the week. Just make sure it is the bottom of the week. Make sure that we have it tidied up nicely. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a little bit lower than that. It's kind of over there. So 14,300, 14,309 is the area you need to pay attention to. If we break that area and we look for a retest, then I would expect this downward trend of the last couple of days to continue. And then what you do is you have a measured move. In actual fact, just point that out there as well. There's the first move down. There is, where is it now? Okay, there it is there. So that was the first move down, up, consolidation. So you're looking for a move all the way down to this area here, which is 14,100. Then I'd reckon 1400 would be the area to look at. But obviously we need to reject this area solidly before we start looking at that. So don't jump into it until you have confirmation, and you can get it off the 15-minute. But for example, you want a nice rejection here, you want a pin bar or something off one of these levels before jumping in. And you're looking for the break to the downside of that price action. Anyway, that's enough for me today. Hope it helps, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.